It's Rock 100.5. You're listening to Bailey and Southside. And, you know, it's funny because Steve and I were talking about this the other day before, obviously now getting Lajon from Sevendust on. Nate was like, hey, Lajon's going to come on. And so Steve and I had never had this conversation, you know, because I have history with Sevendust going back to Orlando. I mean, Sevendust, I can't remember a New Year's at House of Blues in downtown Disney without Sevendust. And wow. Steve would tell me the stories of hanging out with Lajon and the fellas at your old bar on the South Side, right, Steve?
Yeah, man, we hung out in Atlanta a lot too. We did stuff with them back in the day with 96 Rock, and then, you know, we did some stuff with Rock 100.5. And then the last time I saw you guys, we were down at my bar, and you guys drank a ton of Jaeger. I remember
that's my drink. So this is definitely a true story.
And I kept going, dude, man, how much Jaeger can you drink? Yo, man,
how much Jaeger can a man drink? Stop.
No, let me tell you what. I don't know. My wife says it's the college girl inside me because that's the only drink that I don't know. It's the only thing that I do. I don't do other things. I'll do a shot of Jaeger and a natty light, and I'm fine.
It's so funny because, like, Lajon, the band Sevendust, you guys have been around for so long now. I think anybody in the rock world, not only on the radio side as far as what Steve and I do, but just as a fan of rock and metal, has a story with one of you guys. You guys are such a fan-friendly band, you know, with all the touring.
I like to say, at this point in my career, in my life, I don't like to say fan. I like to say family. Because believe me, now that I'm 47 years old, which I'm glad to say I'm 47 because my mom had to correct me the other day when I said, I'm 48. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, what? Because I've been going older because everybody else in the band is a little older than me. So I'm trying to catch up with them. But guess what? I'm still 47. But I think we've been very blessed, man, to be able to just be around for this long and to be respected in the industry, you know, because you have so many bands that come and go. And you never know what happens to them. So what a pleasure it is to be able to be significant in this industry, especially in the time right now.
Yeah. And you guys have released new music, and we played it earlier this morning.
Well, thank you very much.
And wow, to try to do a Soundgarden song, dude, you must have been on that Jaeger Steve was talking about. But
no, actually, I wasn't on that Jaeger. I was on not being able to sleep because I couldn't believe, first off, as a band like Sevendust, you know, everyone's so talented. How do you pick a song to cover when we're not a band that normally covers songs? We did like one song, Marvin Gaye, which was incredible. I loved it. So it was very hard for us to pick a song. So, of course, there was a million ideas, but we could never really choose one. So Elvis Bassett, our producer, brother, pretty much part of the band and team, suggested a Soundgarden song. Now, with that being said, it could have been any Soundgarden song, Chris Cornell song. I would have been like, hell yeah. But in the back of my mind, I was like, hell no. How can you pay homage and to make this sound authentic with such an incredible singer that I feel like in our genre of music is an influencer of overall, and he will always be, and his band will always do that. So anyway, I really had my reservations about going into it, but I had the backing of everyone in the band, and not only that, with Elvis, working with him was a magical experience. And what I did was I went in and I did the same thing that I do with Sevendust. I put my heart into it and my soul and the energy. And for me, those lyrics, even back then when I was a Soundgarden fan, those lyrics made sense. And it's how ironic now that it's kind of falling into play with what's going on in the world. So it means a lot.
I'll tell you, too, the one thing about your band that I've always dug, you know, number one, I think it's cool that you guys are all from Atlanta, but, you know, you formed back in 94. So it's like your career started when my career started, and I think Bailey started in 94, too. I mean, it's been a long haul. We've seen a lot. We've drank a lot. We've done a lot, you know, and some of you guys got married quicker than I did.
Sorry.
You know, so I was still doing a lot of things that you weren't doing.
Exactly. You had a good time.
Yeah, I did. I was having a good time, you know, any night we were together. You had really pretty fans. I appreciate it.
Yes.
You know, pretty fans.
Yeah.
We keep it real. I like it.
Yeah. I'm like, I like taking your fans home, and you know. But no, I would say that you guys staying together, you know, and you know the unit. And there was only one little replacement there for a couple of years on the guitar. Other than that, it's been the same lineup, and it's just refreshing because you got to know you guys put out 12 albums, so you got to love each other. So part of it's cool to the music. But, we all dig a band, and you hate it when they start breaking up and getting back with this person doing that. And you guys never did that. So I think that's just awesome.
Thank you, Steve. You know what? When you said that, it makes me think about something that, because we have this time to reflect on life because we've been in our homes, I feel like Sevendust, we're a band. And you could say that not about every group that gets together. And I say group because I feel like you could be an artist and play and be the best, but a band is a band. A band is the guys that have been in the trenches and gone through it together, that the ups and downs, the deaths, they've seen it all together. Like you just said, we started in '94. And so that to me is a band. And I really feel that Sevendust, we've become that because we've stayed together since. I remember writing a song in a sandbox and saying, man, wouldn't it be cool one day, like we had wives and kids and we had a tour bus and we got to bring them out on the road, and that happened, and we said this will never happen again.
Yeah.
Just to think about how my wife said I'll never ride this thing again with you at this point. Now back when we were young, she would sleep in the bunk with me. Now it's like I need my own bunk, get out. Who's smoking a cigarette back there? Well, think about that. It's great. And I really feel like, Sevendust, we've been very blessed to be a band.
Well, for those that are listening, like I think this is what I did when I heard Sevendust's cover of Soundgarden's "The Day I Tried to Live." You listen to Sevendust's version first, then go back and listen to Soundgarden's version. What's interesting about this is that there's a whole new generation of rock fan that is not even familiar with Soundgarden. You guys were able to do this song in a Sevendust way.
Absolutely.
Where I guarantee when life goes back to some type of normal and you go back out on the road and you're talking with your family, quote unquote, fans, they're going to think that that's a Sevendust original just because of the way that you rearranged the song. And that's a compliment, Lajon.
Well, thank you so much.
And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. The cover a Soundgarden song, no one ever will sound like Chris Cornell. It is impossible to sound like Chris Cornell. You did Lajon and you did Sevendust. And that I thought was very cool.
Well, thank you so much. What was really amazing is after we debuted it at midnight, I have kids and stuff, so I couldn't stay up that late, but I wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, I forgot I got to put it up. And as I'm looking at all this media and everyone's, the song, we like this, or, this is cool, you did this and that. I noticed that the drummer from Soundgarden had posted, I got chill bumps right now, and said, thank you very much, Sevendust, and I love what you guys have done with this song, and completely made, not saying that it wasn't worthwhile before, but to have, that balance, that for someone from Soundgarden to actually say, hey, thank you, you did a great job on that, man. It's like, wow, we really did something really cool, and I really feel like that, I remember growing up and back in the days, we always had a song in the summer that we remembered, and it kind of put us back in that time. I hope that this song, with what's going on right now, we can always remember, something good out of it, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. And I think it's cool that you were able to pull that off. It's so weird. I only met Chris one time. He came in the studio.
Wow.
And I was like, he was sitting there and, he had his girlfriend/wife. And this was probably 3 years before he passed. And you're just like, that big voice comes out of you. I just remember looking at the dude going, God touched your throat, man. I mean,
incredible. Now tell me this, Steve. You guys remember this? Years and years ago, me and Clint, Sevendust, we were back in the day, we were rehearsing out of the rec room, and Soundgarden came through town, and I think it was at the Omni. And me and Clint went to that show, and I still remember Chris had the long hair at the time, and being completely blown away and floored. But if I'm right, I think that was at the Omni. I need to look that up.
Yeah, I think it was the Omni. If it was before 95, 96, it would have been the Omni.
Yes, it was then. Yeah. So I just remember that was my first introduction to actually seeing them perform live, and it changed my life too back then.
Yeah, you're young. I'm the same age as your band members. You are a little younger. So
No, man, 47 or what? Guess what? Even if you're 50 something, that's the new 30s. What's up, y'all?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's how we living, y'all.
Lajon, did you ever spend any time with Cornell? Like, did you ever get to hang out with him, meet him?
No, I never got to spend any time with Mr. Christina, which I would have loved to have. I've been fortunate enough to meet several of the members of the band over the course of the years, and know people in the organization and that have worked for them, but never able to be able to face to face and be like, I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy when I saw Soundgarden. I wasn't familiar with the band. I was still in my hair metal mode, and I went to go see Guns N' Roses, and this was probably, I mean, this was the start of the grunge era, and they opened for GNR. This was like in Fort Myers, and they got booed.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about them. You know, I was like, oh, look, this band got booed and whatever.
And look at what turned out. Wow, that's crazy. You know, Guns N' Roses fans are like Van Halen fans too. At that point, where we don't want to see nothing but what we came to see.
Well, I think it was the business at the time. They were trying to find a way to, transition from this style of music into the.
I get it. Yeah.
And they're like, let's put these bands together. And the fans just did not get it. They did not like it at all.
Think about now if we were able to put bands like that together, and whenever we are able to put our bands back together, it's going to be so big once we're able to do it in a healthy, safe way. I can only imagine what these concerts are going to be like, you guys, because all of us in this room right here in this chat, we know what music is, what it does for us all. And I feel like if it wasn't for you, each of you gentlemen doing your job, this world would even be crazier right now, because what else would we have to watch except for the news? And me, I do my evening drives with my family. And we have the windows rolled up and we go out, we have our masks, we're not getting out of the car. But what we like to do is go past our favorite restaurants and look at them and say, we'll never go in there again because they're partying like it's not. Hey, look, that's my old bartender buddy out there smoking a cigarette with 62 people.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
What are you going to do?
Hey, what are the ages of your kids, man? Because, I get it, going to bed early. It's like people don't know you can't take a nap because they don't nap. So you're exhausted by 8 or 9 o'clock.
So we're right here at my house right now. I have my 4-year-old and I have my 12-year-old. So it's been an incredible summer that just started. But with them being out of school, it's like it's all in the house. It's everything, and I try to be the parent that, my wife, her immune deficiency, she has a little lower, so we have to be very safe around her. So my kids have not been anywhere other than our farmhouse, which is about 30 minutes away from here, and in our nightly car drives where I'm like, you remember that place? You ain't never going there again. So, I'm kidding, you know what I mean, just to make light of it, but you ain't going there for a long time.
Dude,
but,
I got a 2-week-old in here.
Oh, no, you don't. Congratulations, man.
I'm done.
Call him PJ. Call him PJ, Lajon. He hates
PJ, what is that? Papa? What?
No, my kid's name's Parker James, and he's not going to get called PJ because I hate that. Stupid.
Hey, brother, congratulations, man. That is a beautiful thing. And I don't want to say this because other people, well, I know what you've been doing since the COVID. No, you don't necessarily have to be knocking it loose like it was 1999. That's just something beautiful that happened during the time. And
I'm going without sex. She was pregnant 8-9 months. We had 2 nights of awkward sex to maybe make the kid come out, and now she's not good for 6 weeks. If there's anything I'm doing, I'm attacking myself in the bathroom like a 19-year-old.
I love you. That's exactly like you give me a few more weeks, and you guys get me back on the show again, and we'll have some more to talk about that.
Has your kids, Lajon, seen any of Dad's old music videos?
Yeah, they've seen a lot. That's funny you asked that because not too long ago I came downstairs. I'm right here in my little studio arcade room that I try to do for the kids. And my daughter and my wife were really laughing at me real hard. I was like, I think I'm cool, at least in my home. Well, at this point, I'm not even cool here. I'm like, why are you laughing so hard? They're like, oh, we were just watching that video, Woodstock 99. I'm like, yeah, we rocked it. And then they're like, yeah, but why are you so excited about that rainbow? And I'm like, what? And they ragged me about me being excited about the rainbow. I was like, I don't know. It was a beautiful sight to see thousands, I don't know, 20,000, 50,000, however many people were running over a hill and there was a rainbow. But yeah, Daddy was like, look at the rainbow, look at the rainbow. And my daughter and they really get a kick out of Daddy being excited about a rainbow at a metal show.
Well, you guys haven't, I mean, at least you, Lajon, you haven't changed much physically. I mean, you still got the dreads. You haven't gotten fat. You know, you still look like a rock star. You know, there are guys, and I asked Stat this one time, you know, because, whew, you know, you go back and you look at that old Creed stuff, and I'm like, and he told me, he's like, yeah, my kids make fun of me on a daily basis because of all the old stuff. You at least can go back to the original Sevendust stuff and be like, dude, Dad still looks the same and we still act the same, and it's cool, like it or
there's
not.
some things where I probably would have wore more clothes, and you know, like, why was I half butt naked at that? I don't know. You know, I was feeling good, feeling myself when I was younger. Why do I have my shirt off? Where was I going? Put your shirt on. At least I was never barefoot, but you know.
Yeah. Steve is going to have a lot to explain when his two kids get older. Now, you, Lajon, no, I think you're good. You're fine. Now, Steve is going to have a lot to explain if those pictures and videos get out of what he used to do back in the day.
Oh, no, let me tell you what. I think we're in a league of extraordinary gentlemen and ladies around us in this industry. I look at your space right there. It's very cool. Steve, I know your place is the same, and Nate too. You guys, we have history in something that makes a movement that continues to go on. Music is something we do, so you're always going to be cool. I think we're always going to be the cooler dads than the other dads because we are cool.
That's what we think. That's what
we do think. But we are. I tell you what, man, you know, I'm not going to the volleyball games and stuff anymore, but when I was going, I'm like, that dude's a douchebag. He is too.
Yes.
He's kind of cool, but he's an undercover douchebag.
Yeah, you got nothing in common with him. You know, I look at these guys and I'm like, you know what? I make a living in blue jeans. I get paid like an attorney to make a living in blue jeans. Right now, I do it in shorts because I'm in my house. But,
exactly.
I was going to say, look at me wearing blue jeans.
They're looking at me wondering why I'm still in the neighborhood. I'm like, because you still don't realize that I'm not I don't play for the Chiefs. Losers.
Oh, I bet they see you in the grocery store driving that nice car, and they're like, he must be an athlete. He plays.
No. This is a going joke with my dear friend Johnny Dare Radio here at 98 Rock. And for years and years, they've always thought I was a Chiefs player. I'm like, I would have to be the shortest football player, first of all. But I did realize I make a mistake. I'll make this short and quick. When I flew here, when we drove here and brought all our stuff, I brought a couple of my Harleys. And I have a Harley from Georgia, and it's called Thunder Chief. But my personalized tag says Chief. I never thought about that moving to Kansas. I didn't think anything about it. So I took my bike out for a ride after it got Harley Davidson picked it up and they serviced it and they brought it back home. And we're in this new place, and I'm like, this is great. I'm gonna take my bike for a ride in the neighborhood. Oh, there's a hot air balloon. I'm gonna go see. It looks like it's landing in the neighborhood. Let me go try to figure out where this is gonna land at. I got my Harley out. Then I look around and there's like 5 kids chasing me. I'm like, well, they must be going to the hot air balloon too. This is great. Then there's like 11, 12 kids running, and I'm wondering what's going on. And I stop my bike and I realize that they're not going past me to the balloon. They're stopping with me. And they're like, what's your name? Which one are you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Which Chief player are you? Your bike says Chief on the back of it.
Like, Tyreek Hill, you look so much different with that helmet on.
So I can't win for losing. But anyway, they all know now that I don't play for the Chiefs.
Well, cool. Lajon, we hope that you guys in Sevendust get to – I know you guys are booked in September in Orlando at Rebel Rock. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to get ready to say.
Who knows?
I might not be there.
how they're going to do it.
Right.
But for those that want to download the new Sevendust song, the cover of Soundgarden's The Day I Tried to Live, go to sevendust.com. Also, your guys' last album, which has now been, it's what, 2 years old now?
Yes, All I See Is War.
Good album, great album.
Thank you. We did that in Orlando too. So we get to hang out still. We still love Florida. Even though I'm not going down there anytime soon, but I'd love it.
Oh, yeah, I bet you're happy you're in Kansas now. You're away from not only Florida but Georgia. I don't know where the stats are. Kansas with this.
I mean, they're still partying like it's 1999 around here too. We got the Lake of the Ozarks. It's not too far away from here. And not too long ago, they had a bar that we call Coconut. That I don't call it. It's called Coconut. So they had 100 or however many people in the pool. So anytime I pass the area anywhere now, I call it coconuts, because it's no social distancing at all. So you guys should probably take that up. If you go tonight, when you go for a ride, you go past somewhere and there's a lot of people hanging out and they're not doing the right thing, you just say coconuts.
Coconuts, yeah. I got one by my house. I think
You do, all right, so
you got one by your house, right?
Exactly. We all have those.
Yeah.
Well, hey, on a serious note, you guys, I want to say thank you for taking the time to do this. And I pray every day, because for me, I had to ask myself, wow, what, sometimes you don't ask someone, like, man, how do you really feel? Like, what's really going on in your life, Steve? Nate, what's going on, Bailey? How do you really feel about what's going on? And for me, it's very hard, because what I know is to be out on the road and touring. So this has been very hard, and I can only pray and imagine that we all do the right thing, or whatever that may be, to get back to some type of normalcy, so we could, get back together and have music and do what we love, and to continue to grow together,
Yeah. Amen to that, man. We're all in the same boat. We all have our struggles, and
absolutely, man.
And we want to get back to some type of normalcy. Lajon, it was great seeing you.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, Daddy, man, guess what? Get some rest. I know how you feel, man.
Oh, dude, I got a 3-year-old and a 0-year-old.
Oh my God! Congratulations, your house is buck wild. I love it, man.
And I got a mother. I got a mother here that my wife is. They're not meeting eye to eye, and I just slammed the door a little while ago because I had enough, and it's hell right here. But I'm doing this interview.
I'm gonna pray for you, but guess what, man?
Right.
It's all gonna be all right. It's beautiful. Guess what? I feel you.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's not just the kids. Steve has this battle of mothers in his house over the kids.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Who's the mama? Who's the daddy?
So, all right. Sevendust.com. Go get the cover of Soundgarden's "The Day I Tried to Live." Yes, also, sir. If you have not downloaded All I See Is War, it's still as good today as it was 2 years ago when it came out.
Well, thank you.
John, thanks so much, brother. It was great to see you.
This is only the second time I've done a Zoom, and this has been the best thing that I've done. And thank you guys for making my COVID incarceration better. I call it convict, but thank you guys very much.
Got it, Lajon.
All right, God bless you guys.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks, bro.